The manhunt for the suspect behind a string of murders in Illinois ends. Investigators search for a motive in the wake of the attacks.
Plus, the city makes an investment to restore the Rockford Peach's former home. Supporters say the move will attract more people to the region.
And federal administrators warn the public about fire dangers during the winter. One researcher offers tips to stay safe in case of an emergency.
Live from WTVO 17, this is Eyewitness News at 5.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. The manhunt for the suspect after a string of murders in Joliet ends.
Police say he's been found dead. Joliet police say Romeo Nance was found by U.S. Marshals in the town of Natalia, Texas, where they say he shot himself. They'd been searching for him since 7 people were found dead in 2 houses in Joliet and another person found dead in Will County over the weekend. Police say they have not been able to establish a motive for the killings.
I've been a policeman 29 years. This is probably the worst crime scene I've ever been associated with.
Court records show Nance was out of jail on bond from a 2023 case where he was accused of shooting a woman.
A state line congressman comes to town to talk about the economy. Darren LaHood visited with the Belvidere Chamber of Commerce to explore how the federal government can help with local growth. LaHood sponsored a bill that would make it easier for states to build affordable housing. It has bipartisan support in Congress. He also brought up the need to improve the local infrastructure as Belvidere expands. Congressman LaHood says many communities are jealous of the growth coming to the region.
There are many communities that would love to have what is going to happen here in Belvidere with the new EV plant with Stellantis. Keeping those jobs here, the foundation of that is tremendous. But also the ripple effect, the other businesses that are going to come because of the EV plant here, I think it could be really remarkable in terms of adding additional jobs and new opportunities for the Belvidere area. We have tremendous workers and workforce in this area.
Statistics show nearly 1 in 4 renters spend more than half of their household income on rent.
For years now, work has been underway to bring the former home of the Rockford Peaches back to life.
And now the city's making a major investment. Drea Baroni learned more about that. Drea, this is all about attracting more people to Buyer Stadium and Rockford.
That's right, Eric and Mimi. The city is putting $400,000 of COVID relief money towards Buyer Stadium. Tons of fans showed out at the U.S. Women's National Baseball Team's exhibition game back in August. That support showed Kat Williams, the International Women's Baseball Center president, that this field is capable of hosting high school, college, and international tournaments, or even a World Cup game in the future. But first, she says the stadium needs more improvements.
We need a scoreboard. We need additional bleachers. We need bathrooms. There are no bathrooms. There are things like a scorer's table, eventually lights, all kinds of things like that.
That $400,000 will kickstart the renovations, but the field is not the only thing Kat has big plans for. I'll have more on what's to come surrounding the stadium a little later at 6. Eric?
Thanks, Drea. We'll see you then. Several chemicals in candy, soft drinks, and other ultra-processed items sold in Illinois would be banned under a new proposal in Springfield. The Illinois Food Safety Act prohibits 5 chemicals, including brominated vegetable oil.
All of these additives, all of them, have been linked to serious health problems, including hyperactivity, nervous system damage, reproductive issues, hormonal damage, and increased risk of cancer.
The legislation also calls on an Illinois-based university or institution to look at the health risks associated with 2 other additives. Those would be subject to more regulations if the ingredients pose significant health risks.
Governor Pritzker is concerned about Chicago's latest plans to handle shrinking shelter space for newly arriving migrants. Mayor Johnson's administration does not plan to add new shelter beds. As current residents leave, new arrivals will take their place. The mayor plans to work with churches and private individuals to find more permanent housing. Pritzker says the city doesn't have enough shelters right now. The mayor's office says the city's committed to housing them while also helping the people of Chicago.
The city has not told the state where they would like us to put our resources to build new shelters or help them build new shelters.
We don't know when buses are coming in. We don't know if airplanes are going to come in. We don't know if trains are going to come in. And so it's kind of hard to have such a robust housing plan, i.e. Building shelters, so forth and so on, temporary and or permanent, without knowing the exact total population.
The mayor's office responded saying the city has carried the entire weight of housing migrants sent to Illinois.
Fire and FEMA administrators gather in Chicago to warn the public about fire dangers during cold months. Federal officials are on a 3-city tour to promote the Winter Ready campaign. They say people need to have working smoke detectors and an escape plan. So far this year, an average of 8 people die every day related to fire incidents. The total is a little more than 160. First responders say fires are burning faster than ever before. That gives people less time to escape.
This is partially because of the synthetic materials used in our furnishings and interior finishes today. It's possible that a fire starting in a bedroom or a living room with a small flame can lead to a full room of fire in less than 3 minutes.
FEMA stresses most fires are preventable, and it's key for people to prepare in order to save lives.
As temperatures start to rise, drivers will have to deal with getting salt off their cars. Crews put down salt to tackle the hazardous driving conditions that winter weather can impose, but it can also damage your car. Experts say water from the ice and snow can lead to rust, and the salt will make it worse. They can also lead to the corrosion of brake and fuel lines. According to AAA, Americans spend billions each year on car repairs to fix rust damage from de-icers. One mechanic says winter driving can lead to expensive repairs.
Rust can form within 10 minutes of exposure, and salt will just make that tenfold. I've seen whole subframes just swinging and dangling, and they were just all completely rusted out.
Yeah, it is getting everywhere, but I never really thought about how it would actually affect my car, like mechanically.
Mechanics say getting the salt off as soon as possible is the best way to prevent damage. The federal government can begin to remove razor wire at the southern border.
Up next, at the same time, congressional negotiators are having difficulties writing a bipartisan immigration bill.
And coming up at 6, South Beloit welcomes a new business to their community. Quickstar CEO is hopeful their move will bring a boost to the area's economy.
Our temperature is warmed above the average high of 29 degrees, and while that above average trend continues, it does come with a price. A little more cloud cover, some rain, and some fog too. A look at how long we'll deal with the cloudy skies coming up in the first warm forecast a little later.
You're watching Eyewitness News, your home team with Eric Wilson, Mimi Murphy, Scott Leber, and Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
The Supreme Court gives the okay for the Department of Homeland Security to cut down razor wire Texas put up along the U.S.-Mexico border.
It's not the final word, as a federal appeals court will hear arguments on who gets to enforce immigration law. Anna Warnicki reports negotiators in the Senate have hit a snag in their efforts to write an immigration bill.
The U.S. Supreme Court says the Department of Homeland Security can cut down razor wire barriers that Texas Governor Greg Abbott ordered to be built on the U.S.-Mexico border. By a 5-4 vote, the justices gave the Biden administration a temporary win in the battle over who controls the U.S. border in the state of Texas.
If the federal government's not going to do its job, why can't the state do it?
Texas Republican Senator John Cornyn blasted the ruling.
The huge tsunami of humanity coming across the border has affected my state disproportionately because we're at ground zero.
But Illinois Democrat Dick Durbin praised the ruling and called Texas Governor Greg Abbott's border policies inhumane.
His actions are not only dangerous and cruel, they're unconstitutional.
The battle over the border continues in court and in Congress. Republicans say they won't pass a budget or fund U.S. allies Ukraine and Israel without immigration reform. The Biden administration says it's willing to work with Republicans.
The bottom line here is that we need changes in policy. We need funding.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says Senate negotiators are close to a bipartisan border deal.
But we are not there yet. Negotiators are still working through some outstanding items.
In Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki.
Well, back here at home, temperatures made it into the 30s.
After the break, Candace tells us about the potential for some dense fog tonight and when we could get some more rain.
Now, your first warned weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, it was pretty slick out there this morning as we had some rain, freezing rain, sleet, and even a transition over to snow for some early this morning. That did continue through about the noon hour. Most of that precipitation has moved out, but now that we're done with that for the most part, we do have some fog to contend with here as that low pressure system continues to pull through. We've got plenty of cloud cover, so our skies are going to stay mostly cloudy, and we are going to see that fog really start to settle in many locations where dense fog will be likely later tonight and into the early morning hours tomorrow. That is why we've got a dense fog advisory for all of northern Illinois and southern Wisconsin. This will begin at 6 o'clock here tonight and will run through 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Now we take a live look with our SkyTrack camera down here in Rochelle, looking off to the northwest, and where we're seeing a little more of that dense fog this evening are areas to the southeast. So Rochelle and DeKalb, you're dealing with that fog. And again, as our winds remain calm, we're going to see that fog really start to settle in. So I think that'll be a big issue for tomorrow morning. But we're also going to be dealing with some very light freezing rain again, but better chance for some rain showers moving in. Not quite the extent of what we had out there this morning. So that is some good news. Visibility in Rochelle down to under 2 miles, half a mile right now in DeKalb. Everywhere else, not much of an issue. But over the next couple of hours, I think we'll really start to see that fog settle in. Part of that reason, well, we've got lots of snow on the ground and we're bringing in that moisture, so we're also melting off a little snow. Our dew point temperatures have climbed either at or above freezing for most. So when you have a higher dew point number and your air temperature and dew point temperature are close together, that means you've got a very saturated air mass. Our winds for the most part are light, and they're going to stay light here as we go through the night. So that is a recipe for some fog, and it is very typical this time of year whenever we start to get those warmer temperatures and rain showers that we end up with fog, and we could see several days worth of that here as we go throughout the week. Our weather watcher Mike in Forston, 34 degrees with an overcast sky, starting to notice some fog developing out there in Ogle County. 35 for our weather watcher Terry down in Genoa. Dew point temperature sits at 34 and had just a little over a tenth of an inch, that's what I want to say, a tenth of an inch of rainfall here early this morning. We are going to see a little more rain come in throughout the night tonight and then into the morning hours tomorrow before moving out by tomorrow afternoon. And I think during that time we'll see some of that fog begin to lighten up, but by tomorrow night we could see some areas of dense fog develop again, and then that could carry over going into Thursday as well. And notice our visibility here as we head through the night tonight, dropping to under a quarter of a mile in some spots. So you just want to allow some extra time tomorrow morning. Temperatures for the most part should be above freezing tomorrow morning, but there could be a couple of icy spots just as we see that number drop to about 32, 33 degrees here overnight. Another slug of moisture beginning to work in from the south, and that'll continue to pull north here. Again, notice along the leading edge as that temperature may briefly dip below freezing in some spots. We could see a brief window very early tomorrow of some light freezing rain, but that should transition back over to rain mid-morning before again we deal with some drizzle going into tomorrow afternoon, and then fog again tomorrow night, and then we do it all over again on Thursday with some rain showers moving in. But once we get after Thursday, things should start to dry out. Our temperatures will stay in the 30s here by Friday, Saturday, and those overnight lows too. Those will stay on the milder side in the 30s. Doesn't look like we'll see much sunshine, unfortunately, as we keep with the mostly cloudy skies through the weekend.
It'll certainly be nice when we get all the ice out of here. Thanks, Candace.
Wisconsin next with sports. He'll tell us what the Bears are now saying about their new offensive coordinator now that the hiring is official.
And it appears Jim Harbaugh will be back coaching in the NFL this year. We'll learn where the former Bears quarterback and current University of Michigan coach is likely headed.
Now sports with sports director Scott Lever.
What was reported here and elsewhere yesterday has come true. The Bears have hired Shane Waldron as their offensive coordinator. They made it official this afternoon. Waldron has been the Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator the last 3 years. He has 10 years worth of NFL coaching experience. In a statement released by the Bears today, Matt Eberflus described Waldron as a great teacher and communicator with a diverse coaching background. Waldron stated that he can't wait to get to work at a franchise with such a storied history and a passionate fan base. Well, it looks like Jim Harbaugh is going to wind up with the Los Angeles Chargers. He had a second interview with them today in Los Angeles. The NFL Network's Mike Garofalo says the Chargers have made Harbaugh a strong financial offer. If this does happen, Harbaugh is expected to bring several of his Michigan assistants with him to Los Angeles. Harbaugh played the final 2 years of his career with the Chargers in San Diego. Well, as of right now, the Milwaukee Bucks have the second best record in the NBA, but that hasn't stopped the Bucks from firing head coach Adrian Griffin. He is gone despite the Bucks' 30-13 record, which puts them behind only the Celtics. Griffin survived only 43 games as the Bucks head coach. The Bucks have struggled on defense this season, and Griffin hasn't exactly hit it off with some of the Bucks players. Assistant coach Joe Prunty has been named the Bucks interim coach. Doc Rivers is believed to be a prime candidate to become the next head coach. Well, the Bulls thought they had a shot at a win last night in Phoenix. That was until they let a double-digit lead slip away. Kevin Durant went off for 32nd half points. The Bulls couldn't stop him. The Bulls lost by only 2 points to a hot Suns team, but that's not good enough for Billy Donovan.
I think at this level, like, I'm not a big moral victory guy personally. These guys I've got a lot of belief in. But there's a lot of things that we can, learn from. We had post feeds that we turned the basketball over. We had some fouls where we weren't disciplined enough, on a couple plays. But it didn't take away from the spirit and how hard they competed and played.
The Bulls' next game will be Thursday night against the Lakers. That's sports. We'll be right back.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been going through a ton of windshield wiper fluid.
Much more than I have for the last several months before today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's sloppy.
It is very messy out there. And we've got some rain to kind of go along with that the next couple of days. May see a little freezing rain late tonight, but that should quickly transition over to mostly rain as temperatures warm through tomorrow morning. So I don't think we'll see as much of an impact as what we did this morning for tomorrow morning. With the precipitation, fog could be a different story. Dense fog advisory for tonight, 36 tomorrow, a little more rain on Thursday.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some time with us. Stay safe.